Hey Bandidos, Tux here, and we're back with another build video for the Division 2. So I'm featuring a run and gun DPS build that utilizes both the primary and secondary weapons to absolutely obliterate heroic content. Anything that stands in your way, shredded. Like, for example, this dude here, he runs somewhere over 25 million in armor. If you count his helmet, he goes way over 30, closer to 40 million in armor. And we just sliced through him like soft butter. And what's really going to blow your mind is that I am not running a damage talent on either of my weapons. So let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
So I am using the tactical Vector on the primary without a damage talent, and that is the named ACS shotgun called the rock and roll. So this is what the build setup looks like, and there's more to it than meets the eyes. But before we jump into all the details, I want to do a shout out to Rising Reaper, who normally joins us on Twitch during the live streams, but this bad boy was his inspiration. He was urging me for like 2 days, try an unwavering build, try the unwavering build, and kind of let me know how he was running it. I tweaked it a little bit to my style, but I think I'm close to what he had originally inspired. So shout out to him. This thing absolutely shreds, and it is a ton of fun to play in. There's a lot of room for you to tweak it your way. So let's start with the weapon because it's all centralized around this beast. The reality is you don't have to run the tactical Vector, but this was formerly known as the best SMG for burst damage. Even though it had a small mag, it did what it did. And even though things have been adjusted, it's still really good on the DPS spectrum. But notice its RPM 1380 is crazy, and we're actually going to get more RPM out of this than what you see on paper. So hold your applause for those details. So I have a little bit of expertise on mine: SMG damage, crit chance, and damage to targets out of cover. That crit chance is going to cover most of the crits that you need on this build. Talent is called Unwavering. This is the star of the show. Swapping to this weapon grants 300% weapon handling for 5 seconds. So what we're talking about are practically instant reloads, and kills will refresh this, so you can maintain it for a good while, and when it expires you just need to swap to your other weapon for at least 5 seconds and then come back and you can have it again. So the uptime is really good. Okay, so not a damage talent, and you see us doing everything that we're doing out there. Now what's also crazy are the mods that I'm running. So to further enhance our capabilities, I'm adding more optimal range. So that's 50% optimal range. It used to only be 30, I think, so this got a buff to 50, which is fantastic, by the way. A little bit of crit chance because we don't really have many other options here. With that kind of weapon handling, we didn't need stability or accuracy, so I just went ahead and put crit chance there. Another 50% optimal range. So we have 100% optimal range on this SMG that has 300% weapon handling. So mental note, weapon handling doesn't incorporate optimal range. It's its own stat. The thing about optimal range in SMGs, it allows you to start shooting on enemies further out as they approach you or as you approach them. Tactically, what this ends up doing for you is minimizing the amount of incoming damage on you. You should know that you can go with any weapon of your choice for SMGs here, but the Vectors are a really good selection because of their RPMs. And you want a higher RPM for Unwavering to get the most out of it. 5 seconds isn't very long, so you want to shove as many bullets down the enemy's throat as possible. The rock and roll is the backup weapon, and this thing is feeling crazy with this setup. It's coming in super handy because it's helping us also build up our stacks to max, which is 200, very fast. So damage to targets out of cover on this one, and this one gives you 50% magazine capacity. You don't have to run the rock and roll if you don't have it, but I do recommend the ACS shotgun because it's spray and pray and makes things really easy, especially for that stacking. And if you want to put a damage talent on it, you can, but the large size mag is better in my opinion. And so that's the thing. We have so much DPS coming out of this build that I really wouldn't elect to put any more damage. And as you can see, I have all the armor cores I can potentially put on the build. I've stripped away damage mods for defensive mods, and even for the backpack talent, I'm running a defensive one, which is Bloodsucker. And for the backpack itself, the brand, it's also defense, which is armor on kill. And we're still running crits just because I didn't want to farm a bunch more pieces, but I'm okay with that. It's fine. 4 pieces of striker. Again, I'm really playing into the rate of fire and weapon handling, so we're kind of leaning into what the build does. Fast and steady on an SMG. And then striker's gamble. So this is giving us 100 stacks of amplified damage coming in at 0.65 at base. I have armor, crit damage, and protection from elites. So that's your basic formula. The chest piece, I absolutely recommend the chest piece. You will be peeking this out quite often. So armor, crit damage, more protection from elites. So this is going to increase our striker stacks of that amplified damage to 200. Yeah, that's a ton. And the ACS shotgun is going to help us get there really fast. And we are switching to it enough times to do that, to reach that cap. But the Vector and Unwavering and its insane RPMs is also going to help us stack this up extremely fast. The gloves are armor and crit damage, and then the knees are also armor and crit damage. So the backpack, I decided to put on some armor on kill. You need some survivability. You will be taking some damage. So I have armor, crit damage, crit chance, protection from elites, and then bloodsucker. And I'm running this on palisades for that 10% armor on kill. And then I'm running gunner for the ammo. That's going to be helpful because you are spending a lot of it. And then 10% more armor on kill coming from that. Now the holster is vital for this build to work, or work the way we like it to work. Centurion Scabbard is the exotic holster. This came from the rewards track for season 2. So it's giving us weapon handling and crit chance. So all the stats are really consistent here, including the weapon handling. So when Unwavering is not active for the SMG or the shotgun, then we still have the benefit of some weapon handling, a decent amount. So for the most part, I am running 20% rate of fire and 20% weapon damage to the SMG. And then I'm maintaining the additional mag size and reload speed to the shotgun. You could flip-flop and still be extremely impressed with the damage coming out of this. By the way, if you decide you want the larger mag on the SMG, then great. Just know that you're not going to get much out of the reload speed because you're going to have all that amazing weapon handling. And the shotgun feels really good with the rate of fire and weapon damage. So either way, it's a win. Doesn't matter which way you run this. But overall, if I can, I try to keep the rate of fire and weapon damage on the SMG. What I do is I open up the fight with the shotgun and then swap to the SMG once I have enough stacks going. And the shotgun, you are not vulnerable. You are slaying things. So let's look at stats. 48% or just shy of 50% crit chance, and then 103% crit damage. So it's balanced. So if you're under 120% crit damage, that's where you want to be. The protection from elites is from the 3 mods we have equipped. So very easy loadout. I am running just a standard shield, but it is a tier 5 shield, and I have active regeneration, shield health, and holstered regeneration. For the other skill, go with whatever you want there. That's a flexible slot. You could also run a fixer drone, be all right. So the modifiers are absolutely important. This is where a lot of the action is happening. So we're going to be playing in the short range. So that's 120% amplified damage on top of the 200% amplified damage coming from striker, right? Or 200 stacks of amplified damage, I should say. So the active modifier you're going to want is all out. This is going to allow you to lock in at that close range and then maintain consistency, but also going to lock in your passive modifiers by doing so. This will last for 50 seconds, and then it will add 5% more weapon damage basically every half a second up to 300% weapon damage. So your figures are going to get crazy. You're going to want to run Impatient, which is going to give you an increase of rate of fire and reload time by 30%. It's going to cut your mag size, but we're not worried about that. And then Liability. So you're going to get 30% more damage to armored enemies, helping you punch holes in them like Swiss cheese. And then the damage received from these armored targets is increased to you by 15%. But you're killing so fast, this is rarely, if ever, a problem. Definitely recommend Persistence. And what you're going to be getting out of it is 20% movement speed. So basically, it's like running the Lady Death. So this build is really easy to use, both weapons and the mechanics, because they're in short range, aligning with the weapons that are short range weapons. Activating All Out becomes even easier. And when All Out expires, you're still getting the bonuses because you're still playing in short range. So everything aligns nicely here. Have fun. I'll catch you on the next one. thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?